we'll do is we'll just kind of use this as kind of an accent here. So what we'll do is we'll bring the tool strength down a bit, and I'm going to bring the brush size up a bit, and I'm going to bring the fall off up as well here, so that we can maybe add some areas kind of down along the bottom here, and have this texture. And then for these areas a little closer to the sand and all these other areas, I'll bring my brush size down a bit just so I can be a little bit more specific with what I'm doing. And this will also just help to blend our our cliff in with the sand here a little bit as well. And then we'll add in some other materials down at the bottom to help blend it as well. So now that we've got this kind of second layer, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our rocky ground here, and let's just take a look and see how this looks down here. And I might bring this one up a little and do kind of a layer at the top of this one. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So I'll bring the, let's see, these are probably some fine settings for this. And I'll just quickly kind of go up around the upper edges. Maybe even put a little bit along some other areas at the bottom. Just kind of like so, just to add a little variation in here. Kind of like so. And now I think we've got some pretty decent cliff faces. Remember, we are going to be adding a bunch of actual cliff objects and rocks and stuff in the side of these, so these don't need to be perfect, since we are going to be adding other stuff to them. So next thing that I think we should do is I'm just going to kind of blend them in with the sand a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab the smooth tool over here, and I'm just going to start smoothing these in with the sand. So I might bring my strength up a little. Yeah, we'll probably stick with this. All right, so that looks pretty good. So next thing I am going to do is I'm going to start painting on our grass up top. So I'm going to start by going along the edges here and getting that grass kind of right up to the edge of the cliff. So we'll just start with our thinner grass here. Make sure we're on the paint tool. And let's just see kind of generally how this looks. Okay, so we'll probably bring down our size and fall off a bit, and we might even let's try using the noise brush here for this. So let's bring the noise scale down a ways, and just kind of play around with this here. Bring that down a bit more. And I'll try bringing the strength down a little as well. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That'll be good. So now I can use this to go around these edges here. And then I'll kind of start going down the bank a little bit here. I don't want to go down too far, since I want a lot of this to just be kind of sand and dirt, which we will probably paint in shortly. But I think that's pretty good for our outline here. And now we can, I think I'll grab the fuller grass here and use this to kind of paint in the rest of it. So I'll go just quickly around the edges to kind of help blend between these two grass layers. And then I will fill in the rest of it with this grass, and then maybe add a few more smaller accents of this grass, and then we'll also add in some dirt and some other stuff in a few of those other areas. All right, so there's our whole outline done. Now let's fill in the center. So I'll bring up the strength, bring up the size, and just paint this all in here. All right, so now let's grab our other grass again, and we will, let's see here. I'm going to bring the strength down on this quite far, as well as my fall off. I'm going to bring that up, just so we can just kind of just get a little variation just by quickly swiping through a few of these areas, just to get that variation in there and break up the single green color that's filling this all up. And I think that's looking quite nice for the grass. So let's get some dirt in here. So first thing, let's draw out our path. So for that we have our rocky ground. So I'm going to bring my brush size down, and might need to play around with the strength a bit. Let's see here. So I'm going to bring the brush size down to probably like, let's try like 200 here. Don't want anything too large, and we can just kind of start going up our paths here. And I think I definitely need to turn the strength up a bit. Get something kind of like so, just to draw these paths in. And I think that will that'll work nicely. So let's I'm just going to start drawing out a path across the island here, down to the other side, kind of like so. Very nice, very nice. I like that. We can add some maybe some more large, some clearing type areas in here, and maybe have some other smaller paths that kind of come off the side that go up to other areas of the island. Just to add a little bit of detail. Just random little details like this. Those kind of things help out a lot. So don't be afraid to add stuff like that. Maybe we could have a little path kind of going along the edge here. That could be kind of cool. A larger clearing. Something like that looks kind of nice. And we can maybe do the same kind of thing this side. Small clearing, small path. And I figure this is also kind of where we'll put some kind of a structure at some point a little later on. So this could be kind of nice. Nice to have a little path up to there. And I think that's starting to look pretty good. That's starting to look quite nice, actually. So now I'm just going to bring this path texture down our beach just a little bit. Not too much, because this is where we're kind of starting to transition into sand. So we don't want too much of this kind of dirt material. But I think that's pretty good there. And I'll do the same thing on the other side a little ways here. And another thing that I'm noticing while I'm here is we've got all these very steep sand banks. So I think it might make sense to replace these steeper areas with maybe like the eroded cliff rather than the just the sand here. So I'm just going to paint a little bit of the cliff texture in some of these areas. So maybe bring my strength up, bring my brush size up a little, just to get these in here nicely. Looks pretty good. It's coming along quite well. I'm liking how this is coming together. Definitely going to need to smooth these areas in a little, so might as well just do that real quick. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And then something else that I think would be kind of cool is if I was to bring a little bit of this sand material kind of along the edges of this path, since I feel like this path, it transitions to the grass a little bit too quickly. So I think if I was to grab maybe the sand 2 here, since this one has a little grass in it,